Can't even let the song finish. No, we're excited. It's Night of the Seven Kingdoms trailer, final trailer. And what we are going to do today is we're going to do a quick breakdown and then a longer discussion. So if you're tuning in and you want the quick 411 on the trailer, we'll try to get through the whole thing in like 15 or 20, scene by scene style. And then we will circle back through, key any longer discussions that need to be had, take some questions from you guys in the chat, and probably keep this stream at about an hour. But yeah, there's some pretty exciting stuff in the trailer. It's not really, the kind of show where we're looking for secret theories based on a frame or something like that. Hello, friends. Got my Gatorade Zero ready to be hydrated. Let's bring in the chat and the trailer. So yeah, I think what this trailer is doing is it's giving us a little more of the feel of the show than the first one. The first trailer was very chopped up. This one, the scene, we get a couple of little more longer bits of dialogue, and we're starting to get the feel of the show, which is pretty awesome. So welcome, everyone. In case you did not know, I put a video out yesterday, and it's called The Most Magical Characters, 16 Most Magical Characters in Westeros. Ranked them, that kind of thing. And it looks like this in your feeds. So if you missed that yesterday, just a little PSA. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but YouTube always tweaking the algorithm, seemingly making it harder for you to find videos from channels that you subscribe to, or it's going to show you the same video like 17 times until you watch it. I don't know how you get YouTube to do that, but in any case, yeah, I put that out yesterday. So let's get into the trailer. That being said, and we've got more shots of the jousting. By the way, Lionel Baratheon, you just got to admire the commitment to the antler thing. Like those are not little courtesy antlers. Those are real. And I did want to say, I had to use the one picture of them eating sandwiches. We'll get to it for the cover, but I love sandwiches. So I'm excited about the focus on sandwiches here. And of course, the highlight of this, the action highlight of this season will be the joust. And George has talked a lot about how excited he is. He is a Ren Fair nerd, apparently, and he really wanted this joust to be the coolest joust that's ever been on TV. And so we're doing a good job of giving you the claustrophobic feel of Dunk, like being inside this helm. We go from his view, and you can see like how intense and wide-eyed he is, like, oh God, am I about to die? And then you can see what's going on, like the misty field. Oh, those antlers. Those antlers, just feelings. Love the dirty orange yellow color too. That's a sick tone. Slapping the horses on the rump. And then so we get so we're not in Dunk's helmet yet. This is the wide cam shot. And then we go, you can see Duncan, that's Aerion charging here. And now we're in Dunk's cam, and it's like, oh, what's going on? You can see there's Aerion with his mace riding that Dunk. And that's all you can see. He's got a broken lance here. And yeah, we're not sure if he gets hit or not. But yeah, they're really giving you that claustrophobic feel of being, I love how they did that, right into the helmet. So this is the three-eyed crow view. Three-eyed crow POV. Caw! Shoom. Boom. And so we've got a bunch of Baelor. So let's talk about Baelor. He looks like a good Baelor, but he doesn't really look Dornish, as many people in the chat have pointed out and elsewhere. I don't know what to do except for to say that he should have looked Dornish. He doesn't. But he could still be a great Baelor. There's just a book accuracy thing. I don't know why they wouldn't get someone that looks like kind of Mediterranean, to keep with the idea that the Dornish people look Mediterranean, North African, Iberian, etc., etc. But he is a great actor. He comes highly recommended. Yeah, Pedro Pascal, of course. Of course, they had in Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal. They gave him like total white guy accent, but whatever. Yeah, so I still think he'll be a great Baelor, but it's obvious we got to point like why didn't we do that? Maybe they just liked this actor and went with it, but of course he is a dark-haired Targaryen. That's the main thing. He doesn't really have the silver hair, and so because you got to remember this at this point in the dynasty, they don't have dragons, so the Targaryen looks become almost more important as a symbol of the greatness and glory of the Targaryen. Because when they had dragons, they really seemed like gods. They seemed, above men. And now it's just the silver hair and the ethereal beauty. So when there's no silver hair, it becomes more contentious. And also the Dorne is kind of separate and apart from the other 7 kingdoms. Some of the other kingdoms don't like all the concessions that were given to Dorne to bring them in. So we've whitewashed the Dornish, yes, apparently. I don't know that there was an agenda to do that. I think they probably just liked the actor, but I would have chosen somebody that looked Dornish. Like I said, all that we could do is note that and move on. There's not really much else to say about it. And of course, we'll give the actor a chance, because he is supposed to be very good. And he does have that air of Baelor about him. He's definitely got the gravitas, and he's got that calm wisdom about him. Because Baelor, he's one of the best characters in the stories. I'm going to do a Baelor video. Dave, the Targ are trying their hardest. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's not 100% Dornish, but he's half Dornish. And him looking Dornish is part of the whole controversy, because he doesn't look Targaryen. So anyway, yeah, a little Otto Hightower, a little young Otto Hightower here. So in any case, no point in belaboring the point. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I'm going to make a Baelor video. He is one of the best characters. In my opinion, he's kind of like the soul of House Targaryen. He's his actions in the Hedge Knight basically preserved the dynasty when other members of the house were trying to bring doom upon it. So the honor of Baelor and the honor of Dunk is what holds up this story, kind of. And Steely Pate, of course. So funny thing, this is the scene where Baelor's asking him, so how good a knight are you? This is the scene where he's saying, hey, Aerion wants your head. And he's like, well, we'll see. And then he's like, oh, this way? Oh, that way? Yeah. So they're constantly playing up the Dunk does not belong here-ness, which is very appropriate. That is a big part of the story. So he doesn't know which way to go. Later on, we see this scene with the guy checking him in, this dude. And he's like, well, this is a tourney for knights, and you are dressed like a farmer. And he is. So you see one of the Fossaways, this would be probably Raymond, I think. I always forget which one is which. But that's obviously the elder Fossaway. Straighten me out. Is Stefan is the older and Raymond is the younger? Or is it the opposite? In any case, the apples are beating themselves up. This is the scene that Dunk walks in on when he first gets to the tourney grounds, as the Fossaways beating each other up. Yeah, so Raymond is the younger one. He's being kicked. Stefan is the older one. It's a little more edgy and treacherous. So Dunk's like, whoa. It's like, look how these guys are. Not only have they have armor, but they've got just, leather gloves and the under tunic and the jerkin and the, I don't know all the words, but you can see every bit of this costume is expensive. If you've ever been to a Renaissance fair, start buying stuff. You're throwing down $300 a pop for those leather gloves and those boots and various other things. So Dunk doesn't have any of that. It's not just the sword belt. Look at him. He's wearing rags. He's a peasant. He's very peasant. And he realizes that. But the cool thing about Dunk is that he's ornery. And he doesn't care that he knows he doesn't belong here. but he's going to sort of force his way into the conversation anyway. And then, of course, the events sort of sweep him up, too. And so, yeah, he basically, yeah, that's you're dressed like a farmer. That's, you know, again, look at that guy. Look what he's wearing. Just completely different world. And so you got Egg also, you know, very much dressed like these are just tablecloths that they're wearing. Tablecloth with a rope around it. I guess that's more of a tunic there. See, even that tunic's going to cost you 200 bones at the Ren Fair, to be honest. If you're smart, you buy the clothes online and then go to the Ren Fair, as opposed to buying them there. This one is pretty quick. I'll let this scene play here for a second at real speed. I can only play little short clips in real time because, you know. But Egg is funny. I love that one. He's just running across the field. He's like so tiny. You can see how great this, like, come on, they're eating the sandwiches. Like, this is going to be great. We are going to crack up a lot. I got to go one more time on this. It's like the sword is so big. Yeah, so he's got it in the sheath there. Yeah, it totally is just very Avatar. The airbender. This is so you're right. We're gonna I want Avatar memes like all this is it right there. Like that's we need Avatar memes. I'm sure they're probably already out there. It looks like a little Ewok running around or something. Oh man. Okay. And then they're eating I guess these are meat pies. I'm going to call them sandwiches. They basically look like sandwich. These are sandwiches. Sandwich. What is a meat pie but a sandwich? I do eat sandwiches like maybe 4 or 5 days out of 7. So I do love that they're just eating sandwiches here together. This is very pure. And this is, of course, the scene where they meet in the stable. All knights need squires. You look like you need one more than most. And this is where Egg is sort of catching Dunk off guard because Egg doesn't have the humility and temerity of some scrubby little stable boy. He's observant. He's like, yeah, as knights go, you're just barely over the line here. So, you know, a squire would make you look a little more legitimate. Like, of the trappings of knighthood, Dunk has precious few, right? Doesn't even have the sword belt. He's got a shield and a sword. That's it. Doesn't have armor. He does have a horse. So, yeah, a squire makes him look that much more like a knight. And there's a Sir Arlen scene. Now, as I mentioned, this actor has been cast. This is an actor. He's not just here to, you know, be in this one scene. I think we are going to get flashbacks of Sir Arlen, which is good because Sir Arlen is such a huge presence in Dunk's mind, a pillar of his identity and worldview. And so, yeah. In the books, he's thinking about Arlen all the time. And so flashbacks, I think, would be the way to do that. Television, visual medium, no inner monologue. Exactly right. Camelot. It's only a model. And then we've got ladies of the day. Ladies of the day here. I like how this is great because we're trying to bring the opulence and fabulousness of King's Landing out to the field here. And so we've got the chair and we've got, you know, the robes and stuff. But it's just like everything's dirty, you know, it's a tourney. But these ladies are living large. Love those chairs. Kind of a similar, my chair is more comfortable, but I do love the low back, high arms. This is a good style. So we like these, we like this color here. And you can see how colorful they are compared to everything else too. Everything else is dirty and kind of drab. These ladies are looking fabulous. You could definitely see the champions thinking, I'll take some of my hard-earned golden dragons and maybe go pay a visit after the fight. So they are here. Yep. That's what's going on. And Dunk's like, yeah, Dunk can't afford that. What's funny, they're talking about hedge nights, right? So they're saying, oh, it's a hedge night. What's that? It's like a night only sadder. Dunk's like, what? I'm not sad. And then he walks away. He's like, I'm not sad, am I? Anyway, and we could see the tents in the background here. Those look like those are somebody's. Those are not probably Targaryen tents. Maybe those are the Fossaway tents or Lannister. It's definitely somebody nice. Those are nice tents there. Yeah, Dunk the Lunk doesn't need to pay. That's right. That's right. By book 2, Rohan is chopping her braid off and giving him a horse on the way out. And they have, by the way, they're going to start filming season 2 in the next few weeks. So that it's been renewed and it is going. It's renewed for 2 and 3. So Rohan Weber coming soon. That's, dude. We are going to form a full-on Rohan Weber stan club. We're going to make a Rohan video every week. Life and times. Anyway. And so here we've got the Royal Pavilion. All the Targs are up there. Baelor waving to the people. Baelor's given that, yeah, I'm the popular one wave. You know, everyone's cheering. Oh, it's Baelor. He's the heir to the throne, remember. So this is the Prince of the Realm coming to Ashford Meadow in the Reach. Big honor. Not just all the Targs, but the Crown Prince. And one who's very popular. Everyone's feeling good about him being the king. Except. We've already seen this clip. Targs riding in. Dunk going, man. There's our beautiful 2-legged dragons with the very long wings. I like the big wings. I'm a big fan of the sigil. We've got the fiery breath. And, yeah. There's Baelor again. And you can see he's dressed nicely. And he's got a little smile in this scene here. I just feel like he's going to have a lot of personality. And that's maybe why they chose the actor that they did. Maybe they went with somebody with the strongest. Because Baelor's really got to hold it down. He is this force in this story. And he just makes an impression on everybody quickly in every scene that he's in. So yeah, I'm thinking they chose the actor for his presence, and he's probably going to be really good. This is spoiler alert if you haven't, if you don't read the story. This will be Baelor's funeral here. This is Valar, and I believe his wife with the hair that looks pink here. Is that just the lighting? Oh, you know what? She's Tyroshi. I read that earlier. Her name is Kiara of Tyrosh. Kyria. Are you misspelling it, or am I missaying it? Kiara. Okay, that's cool. By the way, Kiara is the name of many of the Langi god empresses. So dig that. So she is Tyroshi. So she will be dyeing her hair that color, which looks like a cool shade of pink. So the Tyroshi, of course, Fagon is posing as a Tyroshi, him and Griff, and so they dye their hair blue. And Dario goes from blue to purple. He's got it half gold at a certain point. So I think the Tyroshi tradition is to dye it all different colors. So pink-haired Targaryen, here it is. There you go. Pinky orange hue. No, I don't think it's, that looks dyed to me. It's not just on one side. It's rose colored everywhere on both sides of the head. I think that's dyed hair. And so yeah, this is Valar. And you remember the only scene, the major scene with Valar is after Baelor dies, and he's the one sort of looking at Dunk and going, why the gods take him and leave you? Which is a harsh thing to say, but understandable in his perspective. It is meant to communicate the elitism of, royalty and stuff like that. And as we know, Dunk probably saves the Targaryen dynasty at Summerhall. And so this is the whole thing. Baelor's honor saves Dunk, and Dunk ends up saving Rhaegar and Rhaella from the flames, in all likelihood. And if not for that, there's no prince that was promised, no Jon and Dany, nobody to fight the others, nobody to bring the dragons back. And so essentially Aerion, with his dishonor, was fixing to nip all that in the bud. And it really is only Baelor's honor that saves it. But Valar doesn't understand that. He's just lost his dad, and his whole world is shattered. So you can see that look on his face there. That's the 10-mile stare. So, well, it'd be interesting to see who all these folks are. You know, they're fleshing out the Targaryen royals here. So we'll see who all these folks are. I think Valar is definitely the one that matters the most. And we've got some more fighting. Does anybody know who this fella is talking to Dunk? Who's that? This person is talking to Dunk in a bunch of different scenes. Is that maybe the younger Fossaway? If anybody has a guess, or if anybody knows. Tommy thinks, yeah, Green Apple. Raymond. Okay, everyone agrees that's Raymond Fossaway. So he's talking to Dunk pretty straight up here, and saying, you know, hey, you could flee if you want. And Dunk's like, won't they kill me? He's like, are they going to kill you anyway? So you can see there's genuine empathy here from young Raymond. He's concerned for Dunk. Dunk is way in over his head. But of course, Raymond makes a big difference. So I think we're going to love this character. Yeah, like grown-up Podrick vibes. Sure, I can see that. And he was saying that Targaryens are incestuous and this and that. And then we cut to a scene. This is Aerion stabbing someone from behind. I mean, it's a melee, but that's dishonorable. You know, that's pretty dishonorable. So it's on par for Aerion. Stabbing him in the back. Little kidney shot there. Nice. What a guy. There he is. We get a bunch of Aerion real quick. So let me just let the trailer rip here. Oh, man. So he's pissed. This is after Dunk has blighted him a bit. You can see he's been knocked off his horse here, and he is pissed. How dare this peasant? You know, etc., etc. And this is Aerion demanding Dunk's life. You can see Dunk behind the knife there. It's a little bit of visual symbolism. Aerion wants Dunk's head. He's pounding the table. That looks like it might be Valyrian steel. Maybe it's just a big knife, but it looks kind of black. So it'd be cool if it was a Valyrian steel knife. And yeah, he's... Pick up my pieces, giant. You can see some of the cruelty in the eyes there. I do miss the long hair, but I think the actor's going to nail it. And that's usually the story, guys. You know, with these castings, like, you have to remember that when you're casting the show, the number one thing you want is the vibe of the actor. And if you know, like there was actors that were, the Dunk actors like 6'6" instead of 7 feet, maybe 6'4" instead of 7 feet. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. They did try out some taller people, but this Peter Claffey nailed it. So he's got the cruel Chad chin. Yes, he does. And that's he's saying Aerion wants your head. He's not proud. Baelor's not proud of it, but he's saying, look, he's got certain rights to demand, and that's what he wants. And then there's Dunk looking at, I don't think that's a corpse. I think that is probably some sort of statue. You guys have any idea what this is? It looks like a statue. Like there's no gore on the face looks weird. It's green and stuff. This must be, one of the broken puppets. Could be. That makes sense to me, yeah. He's not holding it like it's a corpse. You know, he's staring into it more philosophically, not like, who were you? It's a little bit of a Hamlet moment. here. Yeah, it could be a dream. That could be. It's very dark and if misty look is like could be a dream battlefield. Yeah, strong Hamlet vibes. For sure. Alas, poor Arlen. I knew him well. And of course, you know, this is right after the line, he wants your head. Aerion wants your head. So he's like, wow, am I going to be headless in a minute? Yeah, I bet that's a dream. I like that call, guys. I do think this may be a dream. This has the look of his name being called in a dream. Minerva Nix votes that it's a real head, though. Hard to say. Could be a puppet head. Could be a dream thing. Could be a real head. I'm saying that it's a dream and that it's a puppet prop. But we'll see. We've seen this clip, Aerion, and there's Baylor again. So I ask you again, how good a knight are you really? And I'm sorry, but look at Baylor. Like when he saddles up and goes out to the battlefield, you're going to feel how epic and unusual a move it is. Like him and Maekar are these really highborn princes, and they're, you know, their sons are out here jousting, but these guys aren't jousting. This is the hammer and the anvil. They win wars. You know, they put down the Blackfire Rebellion. And so here they are at this tourney, and their sons are running around. And then all of a sudden, Baylor shows up on the battlefield with armor on. And he tells his brother, I'm here for honor. You know, like, dude, it's going to be such a heavy moment when he dons the armor and takes the field. And it's all about honor. These two characters, they have honor. That is the backbone of the story. It really is. And the way that they galvanize everyone, like Raymond Fossaway, like Steely Pate, other people are galvanized by their honor. And that just matters so much. It's the same thing as people going to war for the Ned's little girl. You know, in the North, even after Ned is long dead. So here we go. He's taking the field. I guess I'll let this play at normal speed. I'm a little paranoid about playing much of it at normal speed because HBO, they really do like to strike stuff. They don't want us to have a fandom, I guess. I don't know. Unless you get the blessing. If you get the blessing, you can play it all day and 7 times in a row with all the sound on. But hashtag YouTube complaint corner. Anyway. That is a smoky battlefield. You see why it's hard to tell if some of these shots, you know, if the one shot might be a dream or not, because the battlefield itself is so Styxian. I should get knighted. That's right. I'd need the right email address or something. And so here we got Dunk, Egg bringing the horse. He's got a very solemn look here. You know, Egg is always happy, or at least full of piss and vinegar, and he actually looks somber here. So he's worried about Dunk for sure. There's Raymond again. Oh, okay, I got to go back. Every Aerion shot we got to get every minute of. Okay, so the horse armor is sick. Like, dude, I like how it's not fancy. Like, that's not a fancy dragon horse head. Like, that's a brutalist. It's brutalist in style. It looks alien. It looks like an old alien artifact or something. I like it a lot. I like his armor. I like how it's not, like I said, it's not all fancy and fine edged. It looks like a torture device with his spikes and stuff, and I dig it. I dig it quite a bit. I'm very into this horse armor and Aerion's armor. Let me go back to the visor down shot. And this is, okay, so I made a whole video. This is another one that YouTube may not have shown you, but if you're into the Dragon Slayer puppet show end of this, I made a video called Dragon Slayers of Westeros, where I broke down it's like 5 or 6 legends about dragon slayers or dragons in ancient Westeros, which is funny because they not supposed to have had dragons here, although the Great Empire of the Dawn came to Westeros a long time ago with dragons, and that's why there's dragon legends. But I went through all of them and broke them down. It also builds on some of the Tarth House Dane connections that I had talked about in the House Tarth video. So check out the Dragon Slayers video. This likely is Serwyn of the Mirror Shield here. He does have a mirror shield. He is hiding behind it. So this looks like they're acting out Serwyn of the Mirror Shield, which I can't wait to see all the details of. Maybe we'll get some more clues about that. I do love how it's not just a little puppet show, but a big puppet show. Like, this is very Carnival Ren Fair like. And as I said on the first trailer breakdown, this helps us understand a little bit why Aerion would take this as such a slight. It wasn't purely that he was an insane egomaniac. That's only 75% of it. This is a big deal. Like, this would have been the main attraction at night. You know, there's tons of people here. So when the dragon dies, you could definitely interpret that as a political message about the dragon. The cruel dragons that oppress us need to die. And so, yeah, that's what's going on. I'd be curious to see if there is any like, are the puppeteers actually a little bit anarchist? Like, are they doing this play a little bit meant as a political edge to inspire people to stand up to the Targaryens? Or is that purely something that Aerion reads into it because he's crazy? Either one could be interesting. So I am curious. Maybe we'll see no, it's not that he's right, obviously, because you know, responding to it, this is what you call punching down, when a royal is offended by a puppet show and needs to go and, you know, start breaking people's fingers. Like, that doesn't make him right. But I'm curious, like, this is a medieval society where the royals are definitely super duper rich and everyone else is dressed like farmers and peasants wearing tablecloths. You know what I mean? Like, the same class struggle that is meant as Dunk character building also informs us about the world. So yeah, it would make tons of sense if some of the Dornish puppeteers were like, you know, kind of like commies or whatever. Westeros commies. And this is great. So this Dunk helmet, it really reminds you of the graphic novel, the Hedge Knight graphic novel. I mean, this is basically the drawing come to life. And there are several shots in this trailer and the last trailer that they definitely took right out of the graphic novel. The framing of the shots and all that. The horse, people have noticed the Dunk in the stable, or Egg in the stable when he's on top of the horse. The one where Aerion is looking down at Dunk on top of the horse, that's another one they took right from the graphic novel. So pretty cool. There is Aerion. He's got that spiked morning star. The black horse. Very, very intimidating. Very intimidating. I wouldn't want to get hit by one of those things. This is one of those weapons that, like, it doesn't even do that much good to block it with your shield. It's definitely better than just getting hit by it, but you could still break your arm just trying to block that thing. Yeah. And we've seen this one. This is, I think, Harding and Beesbury. I'm guessing that this is the Queen of Love and Beauty, if you will. This is this would be Lord Ashford's daughter. She is kind of the reigning, I think, is it Queen of Love and Beauty, or is there a different title? She is the fair maiden that everyone's jousting in honor of, or whatever. So yeah, that's probably who that is. She's got that some sort of little crown on there, so I'm guessing that's what she is. Or there's sons there on. Is she Dornish too? She just, come on, man. We got to have some Dornish-looking Dornish people. But that is sort of Martell-looking sun there on the arm. So I'm wondering if what is House Ashford's sigil? Oh, their son's on the Ashford sigil. Thank you. Okay, I was there. Thank you, chat. We were getting there. We're getting there. So I will just double check that real quick. Let me see if I can pull up that sigil. Move this off the screen though, so it's not hideously ugly. Move this off the screen though, so it's. And there it is. It does indeed have a son. Okay. It is a Shivrin. Shivrin. Why is it so big? And it's got the sun on the bottom. So there you go. That is Lady Ashford. Confirmed. Theory accepted. That'll be Lady Ashford there. And she's maybe getting her first view of violence. Oh my goodness, this is violent. Kind of like Sansa at her first tourney, I guess, you know. So we got Dunk, or Egg rather. He is bringing Dunk a new lance after he shattered one. And this again is Baelor taking Maekar off of his horse. I think we figured that out by comparing everyone's armor in the different shots. That's not Aerion. And that's definitely Baelor on the ground with the lance. That's also kind of like a wild thing to do, to pick up a lance while standing and knock somebody off a horse. So this is meant to show us that Baelor is cagey. But yeah, this will be Baelor knocking his brother off the horse. And yeah, he's got the mace. That's Maekar's mace. So at least we've got the canon weapons here. Like Aerion's got the Morning Star. Maekar's got the mace. So that's cool. And that's the mace that's going to, you know, leave the wound on the back of Baelor's head that is going to take him out. Yeah, it does look like a Sauron mace a little bit. So here's Dunk. We cut right to Dunk, and Aerion is on the ground. It's kind of a Skeletor look when he's got that visor down. Blocking in time. His shield is cool. And remember, Dunk's going to take that shield and bash his helmet in with it at the end. I hope they give us that. So we'll go do this in full speed here. So it looks pretty intense, these fights here. I'm digging it. I'm into it. You know, it's fun to have the dragons roasting everything, but this, you can see how personal and intense this is going to be, especially with these shots from inside of the visor and up close. They're shooting it a certain way. Very close in. Oh, this is okay. So this is kind of the highlight of the trailer. We get a little bit of Dunk's "Are there no true knights" speech. You know, he's been timid and meek in every scene that we've seen him, and here he is, 7 feet tall, demanding that the realm show some freaking honor. Are there no trees? We've heard all this about you're a farmer, you're not a knight. And so he's like, are any of you guys that are dressed so nicely, any of y'all want to step up? And it's silent. You can't hear the sound, but basically you could hear a pin drop. Nobody says jack squat. And then they do a hard cut to Dunk talking to Egg. This is probably not sequential, but Dunk is saying, was that ill-handled? And Egg's like, eh. And you could tell Dunk's like, yeah, it was. So I don't know what they're talking about. Probably, this is obviously earlier. But yeah, there's several things that Dunk maybe is trying to figure out how he could have handled better. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll work on that. So by the time we get to next season and Dunk's all doing the your gown brings out the color of your eyes. Remember how he practices the line over and over again, and Egg tells him, like, oh no, you tell ladies that their gown brings out the color of their eyes. They love that. This is going to be so good. Already thinking about season 2. Anyway, yeah, no. Sworn Sword is so good. Like, Sworn Sword is just, Anyway, okay. And then, so we got the finish of the trailer here. And that's that. So, I was probably, I don't know, 30 minutes, but we got through the whole thing. Oh, but editing for YouTube videos. Okay. So just in case, I will mention again real quick that I have lots of videos coming out this month. I took last week off, and then I hit y'all with the most magical characters yesterday. And again, looks like this, 16 most magical. I ranked them. Everyone you see here on the screen is among the higher ranked people. So that was fun. That's an hour-long video, so if you need something to listen to later on, you can check that out. And then next week and the week after, I've got 2 really big videos. I want y'all to get friggin' hyped because Tyrion Targaryen, Part 1, Joanna plus Aerys equals Tyrion. That'll be coming next. I'm going to try to do it on Tuesday, so it'll be a Tyrion Tuesday kind of thing. And then following that, I will have Tyrion, third head of the dragon, the week after. So the first video will talk Aerys and Joanna and plot logistics, Tyrion Targaryen. And the second one will be dragon dreams, dragon symbolism, etc., etc. So this first video is going to be like an hour long, and this one's going to be like 45 minutes. So it's a lot of Tyrion Targaryen. There's a lot of evidence for it. You guys are going to be kind of flipped by that. So I've got 3 pretty dope videos coming out the rest of December. And of course, on the Sunday live streams, we are doing Winds of Winter, holiday tradition, reading all the Winds of Winter chapters with Sean and Tim. So with that said, I will look in the chat if you guys have anything you want to talk about, questions, comments. I will look for them. And just going back through here, let me see if I can pull up the Lionel Baratheon picture. There was a Lionel picture that got press released. Now we've seen that one. Let's see. Oh, I shared it on my own timeline. This will be worth the wait. Just hang on. Picture my uncle. You understand. Uncle Lionel. I sure am proud of the way he wears those antlers. I promise I will wear antlers every post episode. There's can be no doubt. It seems I've made a lot of political posts. Hang on. I'm just sorting through. There's a Game of Thrones post in here. And appreciate all y'all, by the way, posting your YouTube watch lists, most listened to podcasts. Seeing a lot of people posting that they've been listening to the David Lightbringer channel quite a bit. So I appreciate y'all. And we can appreciate those. Those are like, come on now. That's what I call committed to the bit. And no, I've never hunted a deer. I can't kill animals. I can't do that. I'm not a hunter. But this is my uncle. That's him. As you can see, Uncle Lionel. Nice set of teeth. Big smile. He really does look like my dad from like 20 years ago. I don't know if my dad's ever smiled that broadly. But yeah, this is a relative of mine. And like I said, not only the giant antlers, but you remember in the other one, we've seen Dunk put them on. Like they drink a little bit, it gets laid, it gets loose, And Lionel's like, come on, try them on. See how heavy they are. And sticks them on his head. Thank you for talking about cold hands. Yeah, I'm always down to talk about cold hands, Gustavo. And that one was a video about 2 months ago. So, yeah, where are my antlers? I've got them. Here, I'll put them on. Hang on. I need to get bigger ones now. These feel small. I need to get bigger ones. You can see, I am not as horny as that guy. That man is horny. You know, I'm only like a little bit horny. Like that's a lot horny. Anyway. Okay, we've given him his time. So yeah, questions or comments? No need to compare the number of points. Yeah, let's not. Yeah, we'll have to drink and smile a lot on the after show. But I promise to wear the antlers every week. We've got 6 post-game episodes. I could definitely wear these. They're pretty comfortable. Love the wide-eyed look here. You got to give Peter some credit. He looks like he's going to be a great dunk. Not just for looking the part. Like he's going to be able to emote the emotions. He is definitely getting the fertility god. No, he's full on Cornunos. Full on Cornunos. And let's go back here. These shots of all the knights getting lined up and getting ready are going to be sick. Like, just on the horses with the armor, it's powerful. It's going to be cool. I always try to mention to people, like most people haven't been around horses. Horses are kind of big, scary animals. It's intense. Like all these shots are going to be intense. Well, there's always one. This series looks awful. I'm not sure how it could look awful to you. It looks great. Looks like Dunk and Egg. And if you don't like Dunk and Egg, I don't know what to tell you. Horses are megafauna. That's right. That's right, Minerva Nix. Do you think we'll see more of their Dorne journey, which the book skipped? So I'm wondering about that. Remember, I was just saying a minute ago, I wonder if they'll develop the Dornish anti-royalist sentiment that could tie into that. George has all these ideas for other Dunk and Egg stories, one of which is them going to Dorne to try to find Tanzel or whatever. And it seems like George might not have time to write those. So I don't know why my brain froze there for a second. But yeah, a good way for George to realize these other Dunk and Egg ideas would be to hand these ideas to the show. So hopefully after season 3, that's what we'll do. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll start to get some other Dunk and Egg adventures. It seems like an obvious thing to do. George could just outline, hand off, go back to writing A Dream of Spring. But I don't want to micromanage anyone, you know. Some people were saying that this actor has heterochromia. I think this is just the lighting. But a lot of people were saying it. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does have heterochromia. I think it is just the lighting. It looks like he has blue eyes. I don't know if anyone can look up the actor on IMDb and maybe answer that for me so I can let people know. Of course, Tyrion has heterochromia, and that is a big clue about him being a Targaryen. The only other two Targaryens, the only other people with heterochromia are Targaryens, Shaera Seastar and Alyssa Targaryen. So I think this is just the lighting, but maybe, you know. It's probably incidental if it is. The Airbender memes are going to be great. Yeah, Baelor is supposed to have dark hair. That is canon. I can't wait to see, like, do we get descriptions of these meat pies? You know, what's in there? And they didn't show us, let me see if I can find this one on Twitter, but there's a shot of Dunk sitting on the horse, or Egg sitting on the horse. There is, okay, so here's a shot of Tanzel that wasn't in the trailer. There's like 3 or 4 photos that got released. So I'm going to see if I can track those down for everybody. Here's another one of Tanzel with the flowers. So she looks Dornish. Potentially. Let's see here. Oh, no. Don't play the... Don't play the trailer with sound. I didn't do that. I don't think this was in the trailer, so that's a new shot. Oh, yeah. This is Maekar. So, hey there, Maekar. Closest to Book Stannis that we'll ever get. Somebody was saying. There's that guy again. We know that guy. We know him. Definitely going to need to upgrade my antler hat. That's nice. Oh, look at that shield. You know, Tanzel really went hard on that. Look at that. Look how nice that is. Look at all the perspective, the roots on there. Tanzel went. She gave it her best work. I'll tell you what, if a woman paints you a shield like that, she's interested in you. If George is story building via the show, do we think it will get to Summer Hall and have him finally explain? Yeah, well, that's the whole point. Not the whole point, but Dunk and Egg is supposed to lead up to Summer Hall, and George is keeping the Summer Hall mystery a mystery for that reason. So yeah, he needs to fess up on that one, one way or the other. Steerpike's sister, I'd paint you a shield. Hey, easy there. Not so much lust in the chat. No, I always love it when people send me arts and crafts. I've gotten hand-painted weirwoods and all kinds of things. Not a shield, though. If someone paints me a shield, I will know it's true love. Let's see here. That one is from the first trailer, I think. This is a promo shot, but it's cool. Let's see. Are there any shots? This is the one that people were saying looks like heterochromia, but I don't know about that. I think it could just be the lighting. Would you say the tree looks like a dragon? Oh, a bit, yeah, a little bit. They're gonna play with that of what do I want painted on my shield? Oh. Well, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. A lot of symbols running around these parts. There's another promo shot. It's cool. That's not the Penny Tree of Arlen of Penny Tree, but him being buried under a tree, obviously important symbolism. Oh, that's not. That's Damon. That's just Damon. That's cool. That's looking pretty green right there. It looks like a cool-ass Ren Fair to me. And that looks like pretty much all the shots. Yeah, so it was just that one of Baelor, Maekar, and there's the Ashford banner real clearly. Some pretty nice robes there. Pretty nice threads. And there's Dunk. Sweetfoot, Chestnut, and Thunder. Those are his horses. I don't know which one is which. I apologize, but it's one of those. It is one of them horses. All right, cool. Well, that pretty much covers it. A shield with the Evening Star on it or 2 moons. I mean, like I said, how much of the astronomy do we want to put on there? Do we want to go... Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I don't like being put on the spot. I did do a sigil design a long time ago, and it had too much crap on it. It had stars and swords and eclipses and all kinds of shit. And it was too much. So I need something simpler. Yeah, well, it'll be an evolving work in progress. Arlen of Penetry. Yeah, the actor, he had to lay in that dirt hole for like 9 hours during filming. No, I'm kidding. Hopefully not. The days of Dave and Dan waterboarding people are hopefully behind us. To match the mighty Foam Keeper. Yeah, where's Foam Keeper? It's around here somewhere. I do love the night day of this scene, burying him in the rain. And then it's like, it's a new day. Maybe I could be a knight too. What's a hedge knight? It's a knight, but sadder. That's pretty funny. I'm here for the bagging on the hedge knight humor. That's pretty great. I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to put me on the spot. It's just, yeah, I got to think about it. I definitely think Raymond Fossaway is going to be a big highlight. After Baelor and Dunk, Aerion's going to be interesting. This guy's going to be great. I'm looking forward to Raymond. Because he's kind of like bridging the gap of underdog and high lord. He is a noble, but you can see that his older cousin is treating him like crap. And he's not knighted. So he can sort of bridge the gap of the classes there. I'm mad. Aerion Targaryen is mad. And of course, if you didn't see it, I did put out an Aerion video a few weeks ago. Definitely an interesting character. And, one thing about the entitlement that George is trying to get us to see here with this whole idea that, Dunk surviving saved Rhaegar at Summerhall, which saved Dany and Jon. Right? Not just Rhaegar, but Aerys and Rhaella. Dany wasn't born yet, but Rhaella was saved. She later gave birth to Dany. So everybody was saved at Summerhall. And if this guy had had his way, Dunk would be dead and there would be no prince that was promised, right? So George is trying to get us to see that, you never know what kind of ripples in the pond your stones will have when you throw them in there. And to Aerion, this is just a dumb tourney. This whole thing is beneath him. And he's kind of bored until the puppeteers pissed him off and he got into a little fight with Dunk. Now he's got something to focus his energy on. And so he is bent on punishing Dunk and putting him in his place, right? He doesn't understand that, his abuse of power is emblematic of abuse of power. And you don't know which abuse it's going to be that's going to provoke a rebellion, that's going to bring your dynasty down, but any one of them could. And when you wield political power and don't think anything of it, when you do it carelessly, that's what happens. And so that's what this character represents. Green apple supremacy. Yeah. Red delicious is gross. Cool library. That is a sick YouTube set. Like, I'm watching Baylor's YouTube channel. If that's the set, I should dress like that and get a set like that. Maybe more people would watch my videos then. I wouldn't have to complain. Yeah, that really looks like a dream. The lighting in here looks... This looks like dream lighting. I'm going to vote that it is. When does the show air? I think it's January 18th. It's like 17th or 18th. 18th, yeah. Cool. Well, I think I've pretty much covered the angles on this. Like I said, there's no big secrets being dropped here, but it certainly is giving us a feel for the show. There's going to be some of that humor. There's going to be some very likable characters. There's going to be some monstrous characters. There's going to be some moments where it feels real serious. And other moments when Egg is doing an airbender, Avatar the Airbender routine. But this whole trial by combat is going to be nuts. Gonna be nuts. Cool, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. And like I said, if you're looking for something to watch, you can check out 16 Most Magical Characters and other videos I have on there. And we have done 2 Winds of Winter Aerion chapters so far. This Sunday, it will be Victarion, and then Barristan, and then the Tyrion Winds of Winter. So lots of fun stuff coming. And of course, during the season, we will be going live after every show with Tim and Nettles, and maybe occasionally somebody else. So there you go. Happy Thursday. I will see you next week with the Tyrion video. Thank y'all for watching my channel and stuff. Can't believe I put Melisandre over Bloodraven. Finally, let's argue about this. Yeah, no, Melisandre's... I had no problem doing that. No problem doing that. I think she's the most magical character. Bloodraven's basically just a piece of tree rot, you know, under there. No, I mean, I put him number 2. He's just a weirwood barnacle. Melisandre is almost into fire. She's a fire other, man. And remember, it's not most powerful, it's most magical. So I feel like she's the most magical. Most powerful's, you could make any argument for that. That's tough. I did forget Arya. My biggest oversight on the list was Arya. She should have been not in the top 10. But the fact that she's a skin changer learning faceless man magic makes her a little more magical than the average skin changer. So I do apologize for leaving Arya out. Don't want to be a hater, but I feel like this is just a cash grab series. Martin has yet to finish the source material. I mean, Martin signed a contract with HBO years and years ago. We've known this was coming for years and years. I don't know what you mean by cash grab. It's a TV show made by a corporation inside of a capitalist economy. It is designed to make money. But usually when people say cash grab, that's like something cheap that they put out just in time for Christmas to make some money. I don't think that's what this is. This is a TV show, and they're making it the best show that they can make it. It looks pretty great. So I don't really know where you're coming from there, Adam. But thanks for the super chat. Yeah, I mean, everything, yeah. If this is a cash grab, then everything is, and that renders the phrase meaningless. A cash grab is something like that A Feast for Crows edition. Like they were planning to put that out, but the fact that they didn't pay a real artist to do actual effort. That makes that feel cheap. This does not feel like that. This feels, well made to me. But we shall see. Yeah, a cash grab is something of little to no value. Not just that they're charging money for, not just anything costing money. Thank you. Words have meanings. Yeah, one thing about the Mill versus Bloodraven thing is we don't know how much Bloodraven is doing. He could be interfering in all kinds of stuff, but we don't know. I tend to think not as much as some people think. Like, I think Mad King Ares drove himself crazy. I don't think anybody did that to him. I think having dragon dreams and being an unbalanced person is enough. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this up. And I will see you on Sunday with Tim and Sean for Victorian, Winds of Winter. That's what we'll be doing. So cheers, y'all. And yeah, we've got like a month and a half to go until Dunkin' Egg. It'll be here before you know it. By the time you clean up from the holidays, we'll be getting ready to do this. So, two-part question. Was the list for alive characters? Yes. Yeah, I mentioned that at the beginning. I threw out a couple of honorable mentions from the past. Yeah, that was only for living characters. Puppeteer. I told you, we're in a narco-syndicus commune. We take turns acting as a sort of executive officer for the week. That's right. That's right, Gerald. We'll see that. That'll be the first puppet show they did before the Dragon Slayer one. Exactly. Yeah, so yeah, Danny's the Dreamer, exactly. Not a current story character. Also, the characters from the past, harder to know much about. It's more fun to talk about the ones from the main story because we know more about them. Yeah, I didn't vote for you. All right, guys, I'll see you on Sunday. Cheers.